Hello everyone. In this video, I'll show you how to install MySQL and create a database. So MySQL or MySQL Server is a relational database management system that runs as a database server on your computer. And after that, we'll install MySQL Workbench, which is a database management application that you can use to connect to MySQL Server, and it also simplifies working with MySQL databases. So let's go to your browser and search for MySQL installer. Click here and select the MySQL installer community version. Click download. Click no thanks, just start my download. So once the download is complete, double click the setup file. So from this window, we will select MySQL Server and MySQL Workbench. So select custom, click next, expand MySQL servers by clicking this plus icon. From here, select MySQL Server and select the top version. Click the green arrow. Then you can collapse MySQL Server, expand applications, and select the top version of MySQL Workbench. Click the green arrow and click next. Click execute. So once that is installed, click on next, click next, and this will take us to the configuration section. So this is where you will set up a root password to access MySQL Server. Click next again. Leave it here as use strong password. Click next. Now, it's important that you remember your password. So go in here and create a password. Repeat it. And then click next. And click next. Click execute. And click finish. Now click next. And leave this checkbox so it'll start MySQL Workbench. And click finish. So next we will connect to MySQL Server. So click the connection and enter the password you created. Now, if you want to save the password to a vault, you can click this checkbox so that the next time you connect, you don't have to enter the password. Click OK. And that will connect you to MySQL Server. So next we will create a database. So make sure you select the schemas tab here. And then anywhere in this pane, right click and click on create schema. So schema is another name for database. And then in here, give your database a name. So I'll call mine global underscore solutions and click apply. Now this window that pops up shows you the SQL instructions you would have written to create that database. Now click apply and click finish, and you should see your database here in the schemas pane. So next we will create a table. Let's come here to our database and expand it. Now select tables, right click and click create table. Now let's give our table a name. So I'll call this product. And in this section is where we create the columns for the table. So under PK, click this checkbox. So what this will do is make the column a primary key column. And what that means is any value assigned to this cell must be unique. So let's go ahead and double click that column name and rename it as product ID. And then under this AI, which stands for auto incremental, click that checkbox. So what this will do is it'll automatically assign an incremental value if one isn't assigned to this cell. Now let's go to the next row and create another column, and let's name this product name. And you can set this to not null. So under this NN, check this checkbox. And let's create one more column. So let's click here and let's name that price. And then over here, let's change the data type to float. And you can also mark it as not null. Okay, so go ahead and click apply. And this will reveal the SQL instructions to create that table and its columns. Now click apply, click finish. And then when you come here and expand tables, you'll see the product table. When you expand it and expand columns, you see the columns. So for our last lesson, we will insert records into the table. So let's come here and place your mouse over product. And to the right, click this icon that looks like a spreadsheet. Now that will run a select statement and select that table. And under here, you'll see the table. So let's enter some values into the table. So let's go here and double click under the product name column and enter a value. So I'll go for metal shelf. Go here, price, and enter a price. Hit enter. Let's enter a second record. And enter a price. Hit enter. And then click on apply. And then you see the SQL instructions to insert records into a table. Click apply and click finish. And you'll see that the records have been inserted, and you'll also see that the primary key column or the product ID column has auto incremented values. Okay, so that is it for the video. Thank you for watching.